Hi, this is Pete from Divi Engine. Welcome to this tutorial. We're going to be going through how to change a select box value with another module, such as a blurb module or an image. When you click on that image, it will then change the select value. Now, we're going to be using one of our plugins as an example, but this isn't specific just to our plugin. You can use this on any application. But I was trying to think of how, what case I could use to kind of show the value of this. And one of our plugins, Divi Machine, uses filters, which is a select box. This is a perfect opportunity to show you how it can work in application. Okay, so I'm just going to jump on this screen over here, which is my bigger screen, so I need to, in order to get the higher resolution. So, this is how it's going to look in an application. So we have this portfolio and we have web design, graphic design, social. Click on graphic design and it will change all the graphic design. Click on social, it will change this to social. And web design, And you could also have or whatever like that. But I've just done 3. Okay, so how does this work? You can't see the select box. I've hidden the select box. In actual fact, I can actually show you now. If I just inspect this page and go to my row column, I can show this. Okay, so when I click on graphic design, it changes the graphic design select box. Social changes to social media and web design. So you can see how it works. So there's a couple steps in order to do this. The first step is obviously to have a select box. With the select box, if you're going to be coding it manually, then you need to make sure on a few things. But if you're using Divi Machine, there'll be some things that will already be in place for you. So one thing you want to really make sure of is, if you look at the select, you want to have a look at this value. Okay, the value field, graphic dash design, social dash media, web dash design. Those are the values that we're going to be using to basically tell the select box which value to change to. Okay, so you need to remember these values. If you are using, so in my case, in my application, I'm using the Divi theme builder. I've created this archive page in Divi Machine. Just don't restore. It's hidden, isn't it? Let's go to wireframe view. So the filter, I've basically created a category filter, and this looks at the project categories and displays a filter for that. Okay, and when I'm on the project categories, you can see I have graphic design, social media, web design, and the slug is the value. So that's how you can pick up the values when using it this way. But if you're creating your own custom select box, make sure you write down those values and make note of them. Okay, so we have our values. Now, how do we go about doing this? Well, let's go to our. Let me just open up this new tab. Okay, let's go to the page. So I'm just going to wireframe view because again it loses the filter. Here's the filter, i.e. the select box, and we have these 3 blurbs. And each blurb, whenever you click on the blurb, it's going to change the filter. So what I've done is, and in the blog post, we'll have all the CSS and jQuery that you will use. What we've done is we've given each blurb an ID. That's the same, same wording as the values. So for example, web dash design would be the same as web dash design. Okay, let's go back to this. So the graphic design one would be graphic dash design, and so on, and you can see it matches like that. Okay, so you're giving us a unique ID to each whatever you're going to click, image, text, whatever you want to do. So you have a unique ID. It's the same value as one of the select values. Okay. Now that we've got that, in Divi Machine we have the ability to add custom JS and CSS. over here, I'm basically adding some custom JS, some jQuery. So over here, I'm saying when jQuery is ready. So this line, jQuery document is ready. So that's only once jQuery is loaded. I'm now looking for when I click on a blurb. So you can see that .click event. So when I'm clicking on this CSS identifier, so I've added a custom -grid control. So on my theme builder, on my row, I've added a ID called custom grid control, just so I know I'm looking at all the blurbs inside that. So I don't have to define, I don't have to target each one. So just give, you know, the row or section that you're working with a custom ID. So I'm saying, so the custom for each, like pretty much if you click on the blurb module, so if we inspect this page, we can find out the exact CSS. So you can see on the row I have this, where is it now? I have this ID of custom grid control, and inside there I have a blurb. Okay, I also have another blurb, etpbb blurb, etpb blurb. So you can see I have 3 blurbs. So in each of the blurbs, when you click that, so when clicking a blurb module inside a row with ID custom grid control. Let me just change this actually with ID. So when clicking a blurb module inside a row with custom grid with ID custom grid control, now we're going to get the value of the ID. So get value of ID of the blurb ID. So we're creating a variable called ID, and in this we are saying this. So with jQuery you can just have this, which means whichever one you've clicked, this, get the attribute ID. So when we click on this blurb, okay, we're going to get the ID, which is graphic design, which is the one that we added to each of these blurbs. Graphic design, for example. Okay, so we gain the value of the blurb ID, and then finally change the select option to be our new ID value. So now we're going to target our select. So again, I've just added a custom class. You can add ID or whatever you want to do. I've added custom filter post for my custom class. So this is just a way for me to, you know, target just this one. So I'm basically just saying this custom, so this, whatever this is, like section row, it's child select. So I'm just targeting that one select. If you have multiple selects inside that row, you know, you need to find a way to target just that specific one, which, you know, there's different videos for that. So the first thing we're going to do here is change the value. So val, whatever, is an ID. We're basically changing the value to be the ID, which is this variable over here. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is we're targeting the select box, then we're changing the value to be this variable, so for this ID over here, and then finally we're going to trigger change. So trigger change means that it'll basically imitate like a normal user changing the select box. Then trigger click. So pretty much like trigger clicking off or something. And that's it really. So when jQuery is ready, we're basically looking for the looking for each blurb. When you click on a blurb, we're looking for the ID, then changing the ID in the select box, and then triggering a change. And that's how it works. There's a couple other things that I've done to just make it a bit better. The first thing is for each of the blurbs, I've just given a cursor pointer. So if I go here, you'll see it gives me this cursor that when I hover over it, it's implying that you can click on it. You can see this over here. If I uncheck it, it doesn't give me that nice hover icon, whereas now it does. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing that you can do is I've just hidden the select box. So in my case, for this application, I don't want people to see the select box because I want to be using the images to filter the content below. And you can see then basically it changes, it filters, and it changes. So yeah, so that's it really. So again, on the blog post, I will I'll make this image bigger. On the blog post, I will add the actual CSS and jQuery that I've used, so you can copy and paste it. Any questions, give me a shout. But I hope this can help you with some applications that you may have that you might want to change the select box based on a click on a blurb or an image or something like that. Yeah, so have a great day and we'll see you soon. Cheers.